Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another 2-Bit review. Today we are finishing off the Hunter the Reckoning franchise with Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer on the original Xbox. Let's jump right in. Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer is a hack-and-slash RPG sequel developed by High Voltage Software and published by Vivendi Universal for the original Xbox, only 1 month after the release of its predecessor, Wayward. Redeemer was already in the works in the final stretch of the original game's development. The team were taking feedback from players of the first game and using that to improve Redeemer. This also confirms my theory that Wayward was just a remixed port of the original game, and the full team was focused on Redeemer, making it the true sequel to the original. With these tidbits finished, let's go on one last hunt in this review. The controls are a step up from the original game. The twin stick is still here without the jankiness. We've got very smooth play, and the hit detection has been improved. With the improved controls, the gameplay from the previous games has made its way over. The various weapons you can obtain throughout the game return, such as chainsaws, assault rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, etc. Magic is back once again, buffing up your stats, giving you defensive or offensive attacks. Examples being healing yourself and allies, blasting an enemy with magic, or the Redeemer's ability, turning enemy hordes to your side for a short time. A new addition is weapon power-ups that you pick up from defeated hordes. These power-ups only last a short time, but help out immensely, like stunning your enemies. All the monsters from the series make their return. You have your horde of undead, vampires with their little assault rifles, werewolves, tank zombies, etc. But a new addition are deadly corporate soldier zombies who have powerful ranged attacks. You have new and returning playable characters. Yes, I know after 2 straight reviews I am repeating myself here once again. So here we go. Father Cortez, the Judge, who is your mage-like character. Deuce the Avenger is your tank, slow but powerful. Samantha the Defender is the most balanced character with speed and strength. Cassandra the Martyr is the fastest character with weak attacks. New addition to the series, Kylie the Redeemer, which the game is named after, is pretty balanced, but where she shines is her magic, which is powerful, offensive, as well as defensively. There are also unlockable characters in this game, such as our buddy Carpenter, who is very fast, and Wayward Joshua from the previous game, who again is a balanced character with slightly higher stats than Samantha the Defender. Innocents once again need to be saved, but this time around they don't seem as numerous as in the previous games. The level up system is different this time. What you use is what levels up, instead of just a general boost. So if you're big on melee and magic attacks, that is what will level up on your character. This allows a player to focus on a specific style of play. A lot of the same level objectives are returning, getting from point A to point B, escorting characters, completing a timed section, freeing innocents, and defeating a level boss. Level design has improved as well. They took the flashlight idea from Wayward and implemented it into Redeemer. The levels feel expanded not just in size but in length and detail. The basic design is still here, however. You got your big areas for horror, horde fun, and cramped areas making monsters too close for comfort. The levels look very diverse and more memorable to me than the other games. The levels can be confusing though sometimes, leaving you puzzled on what to do, but this doesn't happen nearly often enough to become a major issue. Bosses are memorable as well. It isn't a Hunter the Reckoning game without a Carpenter fight, but you also have other great fights, like werewolves, bizarre factory monsters, a freaking dragon demon thing, and yes, of course, a demonic Santa Claus. Redeemer definitely set the bar higher and exceeded its predecessors. I give it 3 bits.
I'd buy that for $1.
Out of 4.
Merry Christmas!
Sound quality hasn't changed much. Sound effects are for the most part solid and feel like it was just a copy and paste job. The music is the same as the previous games. It doesn't stand out, but it fits the game's aesthetic it's trying to convey. And of course, a lot of the levels use ambient sounds to up the creepy factor of this game. The voice acting is hit and miss, but man do I love me some Ron Perlman in voice acting. With the exact same sound and music quality, but with Ron Perlman, I give sound 2 bits.
I'd buy that for $1.
Out of 4.
Almost a year after using the resources of Genefex to thin out the rot and vampire population, I turned my attention to the shapeshifters.
The graphics are also a step up from its predecessors. Redeemer, being an Xbox exclusive, probably helped break the chains of having to develop for weaker hardware. Redeemer is much more colorful than the other titles, and while it's prettier to look at, I feel it loses some of the horror aesthetic with the bright colors included. I love the visual design and levels. There are a lot of little details to appreciate, like the snow on the streets of Ashcroft. This really helps immerse you into the world of darkness. Redeemer uses in-game engine cutscenes, which was a thing for a lot of Xbox titles back then, including the awesome Halo Combat Evolved. I do wish they would have used pre-rendered videos though, as a few characters have some derpy facial animations. Those flaws aside, this is definitely the best looking Hunter game in the franchise. Almost forgot to mention the weird-ass boob physics in this game. Female characters, particularly Kylie's boobs, jiggle like jello. Last I checked, women's boobs are sacks of fat and do not jiggle like jello. Yeah, you're welcome for that visual. Redeemer is set 10 years after the events of the first game. Our Hunter team of Deuce, Samantha, Father Cortez, and Cassandra, with new addition Kylie, the little girl that you saved from the demonic teddy bear, and who was adopted and raised by Father Cortez, returned to Ashcroft for the holidays. I would like to take a moment to talk about Kylie and her creed, Redeemer. She is not interested in killing monsters right away, rather redeem them or convince them not to fight. She is more diplomatic and merciful than the rest of our crew. This adds depth to our crew and makes Kylie an awesome addition to the crew. Where Joshua of Wayward just felt like another hunter who didn't add too much and whose additions were already there with other characters in the team. Picking up sloppily where Wayward left off, our hunters are investigating Genefex Corp's CEO Xavier Lucian, father of Devon. This isn't mentioned in the game, but if you play Wayward, then you know this. He is attacked by werewolves, causing our crew of heroes to align with Lucian and help him out by hunting down the werewolves. Along the way, you meet up with Carpenter for your traditional boss fight with him. Like always, Carpenter gives our crew some helpful info to further the plot and send them on their way. Inevitably, our heroes realize they are being played by Lucian when they notice he is employing zombie soldiers and discovered an imprisoned werewolf. With the help of Kylie, she convinces the rest of our heroes not to kill the werewolf on sight. Lucian apparently is creating a substance that enslaves humans into these zombie-like soldiers, and he is doing it with the help of an unknown power he has sold his soul to. This causes our heroes to switch sides and join the werewolves. They foil Lucian's plan to contaminate Ashcroft's water supply with his zombie-making substance. Our crew then moves on to help defend the werewolves' home in the forest from Lucian's minions. From there, our crew works their way through Lucian's tower, saving innocents and captured werewolves along the way. At the end, they confront Lucian in an epic final boss battle with a demonic dragon-like creature. In the end, Lucian's tower comes falling down with the crew escaping, save for Father Cortez, who stays behind to finish off Lucian and make sure this never happens again. In the end, Kylie takes her father's sword and seems to take the mantle of her father. The game ends with the story wrapped up, but I can't help but feel they intended to continue this story, as the rhythm and cadence of the final scene felt like there was more events on the horizon. The graphics are the best in the series, and the story probably would be as well, though I felt that some plot points were dropped. The game ignores the ending of Wayward. Well, partially. They completely ignore Joshua and Devon. Though Joshua is a hidden character, Xavier Lucien is Devon's father. These things are never mentioned, though all of this and more is canon. For instance, Xavier's company is called the Drake Corporation in Wayward and is renamed Geneflex in Redeemer. This messiness can only be chalked up to being an oversight, as Wayward and Redeemer were both being developed around the same time. That said, this is still the best presentation in the series. 2 bits and 3/4
I'd buy that for $1.
out of 4.
You have been judged.
Redeemer, in my opinion, is without a doubt the quintessential Hunter the Reckoning video game. It takes what was already great in the previous 2 titles and adds to it and raises the bar, whether the weapon upgrades or the fact that your playstyle is how your character levels up, or hell, all of the damn characters that you can play. You got your original 4 plus Kylie, plus you can unlock Carpenter and Joshua from Wayward. You can play a freaking werewolf. They packed this game full of so much content and so much love, and it really does show. So my final verdict for Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer on the original Xbox is a recommended buy and play for the casual and hardcore collector alike. And if you're interested, you can find it online for around $4 to $6 depending on its condition. And just like Wayward, unfortunately folks, it can only be played on the original Xbox. And who knows, maybe one of these days we'll get a remastered trilogy of these games or a new game entirely. There was some hope because Paradox Interactive, you know, the same guys who did Stellaris, Hearts of Iron, Europa Universalis, those guys, they bought the rights to the Hunter the Reckoning franchise, but as far as I can tell, they haven't really done anything with it. The only thing I was able to find was a tweet of a Paradox Interactive person kind of hinting at maybe they're working on a game, maybe they're not, but as of this recording, news has come out that Paradox Interactive has canceled, like, I think 7 unannounced games, and they're wanting to focus on their bread and butter, which is the grand strategy game, Stellaris, Hearts of Iron. So I don't think it's going to be anytime soon that we're going to be seeing a new or even remastered Hunter the Reckoning game. So sadly, this is all we got. We got Hunter the Reckoning on the original Xbox and GameCube, Wayward on PS2, and Redeemer on the original Xbox. And if that's it, so be it. It's still a worthwhile franchise to play, and I can still enjoy these 3 games without ever having a sequel. But it would be nice to get one. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer, and of course, if you have any suggestions for games you would like for me to review, pop them in the comment section as well, and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Now, with all that said, we are moving on to our next review. I'm not going to say anything about it, but just so you know, it's on the way soon. That's all from me, folks. As always, stay safe and play on.